Ohayo gozaimasu. All right, day 2 here in Osaka, having my onigiri breakfast. This is rice ball with nori, seaweed, and pickled plum. And I have my green tea beverage. Eating in front of the convenience store where I bought it. This is how Rolex wearers have a cheap breakfast. All right, let's go see Maynard. All right, guys, so 10:01 and Hankyu just opened, so let's check out the Rolex AD and pick up a couple of Daytonas.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Notice the gentleman at the counter. He was there, arms spread, the entire time we were there, probably at least 20 minutes. And I have a feeling he was putting a little pressure on for something behind the counter. All right, this is what they had. Date just 36 millimeter with a smooth bezel, oyster bracelet. All right, so obviously no steel professional models at that Rolex AD. One single steel piece. Legend has it, he's still there. All right, I don't get a lot of Vacheron Constantin footage on the channel and couldn't resist this. Tourbillon, and it's running. Notice the rotating Maltese cross in the tourbillon. That's a nice touch. Or as I called it the other day, the iron cross. Oops. This is an electronics store in Osaka Umeda Station. I'm not sure if it's Yodobashi Camera or Bic Camera, but it's one of those big electronic stores. And as you can see, they've got new Rolex watches, but they've got them at gray market prices. Not sure where they get their pieces. Check out the price on that two-tone GMT all the way to the left, and then compare it to the steel Pepsi. Look at that, thousands more for that all-steel piece. And the Batgirl's much cheaper than the Pepsi, but we can do a lot better on a Batgirl in Osaka, so remember that price. That two-tone bluesy sub is cheaper than the Batgirl, so we've hit a point where two-tone watches are actually cheaper than all steel pieces. I mean, this is like the Twilight Zone, but hey, I kind of get it, and well, I'm a steel man myself, so, you know, hey, you're paying more for a better metal if you ask me, but it is odd. It is odd. A couple of Milgausses, you have a blue dial on the left and a black dial on the right. To me, it looks like the more desirable one is priced cheaper. All right, I'm going to pull out. Feel free to pause the video and check these prices to your heart's content. Do take note of that white grape Oyster Perpetual 116000 up top. We'll see that price much cheaper later in the video. Right, Komehyo, which is seller of pre-owned watches, and they'll probably have some new watches there. They just opened. They're unlocking the door. A Zenith El Primero annual calendar. And to the left, we have a collection of what the Pontiff might call shitters. $800 for a Casio, ouch. A two-tone ceramic Sea Dweller, and this is priced about $70 USD cheaper than that Batgirl we saw earlier. A pre-ceramic Date 16610 Submariner. A couple of pre-ceramic bluesies. Considering they're two-tone, not all that much more expensive than the 16610 we saw earlier. Look at the dial difference between these two bluesies. You know, the blue is slightly different. Which one do I like? Both are beautiful. Maybe the one on the right pops more, but yeah, I don't know. Which do you like more? A two-line 14060M. And a no-date ceramic sub, which is exactly what Brandon has. Here's the very same piece with a date. 1,000 USD more for the date. Is it worth it? That's debatable. A 6-digit two-tone rose gold Yachtmaster. And then on the right, a 40 millimeter pre-ceramic sub date. That's a Swiss-only dial, so that's a 1997 or a 1998 watch, likely a U serial. The very same thing here, but this is about 1,000 USD more. It's got solid end links and a Swiss-made dial, so it's a newer watch. And a two-tone gray-dialed Yachtmaster. All right, some 6-digit Daytonas, and you can tell the next 4 watches have the in-house 4130 movement from the arrangement of the subdials. The subseconds are at 6 and the hour totalizer is at 9. And you can also tell because of the indices. They are fatter, they're thicker. The Daytonas with the 430 movement, that's the zenith movement, have the sub-seconds at 9, and at 6 o'clock is the hour totalizer. And as you can see right here, the indices are thinner. You can also tell because of that price. As many of you know, I'm not so crazy about precious metal watches, but boy, I'd make an exception for this one. This is a gorgeous piece. This is a pre-ceramic root beer GMT. It's got a Jubilee bracelet and has a tritium dial. So this is a pre-1997 watch, and it looks to have box and papers. It's really expensive, but geez, I think it's worth the price. This is a GMT Master 2 Coke. It's a U serial. It's got papers right there. So this would be 97 or 98 when this watch came out. It's got a Swiss dial. This is a GMT Master as opposed to a Master 2. It's a Pepsi, and this watch ran until 1999 before it was discontinued. Now, this example has a tritium dial, so it's pre-1997. This is a contemporary Tudor GMT, and you see these on the gray market for less than 5,000 USD. From the top left, Milgauss, no GV glass, Milgauss, no GV glass. That looks like a Datejust 41. Then you got a 39 millimeter Oyster Perpetual, white dial Milgauss, no GV glass, and then a GV glass black dialed Milgauss. Explorer's on the bottom, Explorer 2's on the top. This is a Polar Explorer 2. This is exactly what I'm wearing as I do this voiceover and what I was wearing when I took this video. This example has solid and links, Swiss-made dial, and no holes case. Mine has a holes case. This black dialed Explorer 2 has a holes case, Swiss-made dial, and a Swiss-made dial with a no holes case. And a 39 millimeter Explorer. Some Datejusts, some Oyster Perpetuals, Turnograph mixed in there, and a 36 millimeter gray dialed Oyster Perpetual. An assortment of Datejusts, all of them on a Jubilee bracelet, except for that one on the top left, which is steel, all of them two-tone. This is a two-tone Turnograph on an Oyster bracelet. After those expensive Daytonas, these seem pretty budget friendly. And you get the added bonus of the date on these watches. I don't know if they'll rock your world like a Daytona would, but you know, save you $15,000 that you can use for other things. This is the Speedmaster 1957 Trilogy. It's a limited edition piece, and it was released as a 60th anniversary tribute to one of the watches released in 1957, the Broad Arrow. And being a limited edition piece, only 3,557 were made. As you can see, though, you can buy it for cheaper than it sold for. And say what you will about a reduced, it looks like an excellent value to me, even if it is upside down. AD number 2 in Osaka, and these are the two steel pieces they had in the store, two Datejusts, both with the Oyster bracelet and smooth bezels. This white dial with Romans is pretty common at ADs here. Looks good to me. This was what you would call understated luxury. Just a little bit of bling in those polished middle links, but other than that, it looks like a pretty run-of-the-mill watch, unless you get close to the dial and see that it's a Rolex. And never let anybody tell you you can't find a steel professional model at an AD. Well, you can pretty easily come across this. Of course, you could time steaks on the grill with a Daytona, but wouldn't a countdown timer be better? I mean, don't you owe it to your steaks to have the proper watch? If it was just the right size, I might go for it. For the steaks, but alas, it's just a little too big for me. The problem with this watch is not everybody sails, not everybody has a yacht. But if they changed the name to Steak Master 2, I'm pretty sure sales would increase. You wouldn't be able to find these in stores. I think Rolex ought to consider that. A Grand Seiko for you, the SBGA 407, the blue snowflake. And you can't really see it, but there's a tinge of blue, there you go, on this watch. And only in Japan can you get this watch on this band. All right, guys, this is a discount members only area. So a lot of new but like wholesale cheap watches and stuff. All right, brace yourself. Now we saw this watch for 1,900,000 yen. It's about 4,000 yen cheaper. And then check out this all black discontinued GMT. You can see the price there. Now you can find these cheaper on the pre-owned market, but all of these watches are new. That's a solid yellow gold ceramic GMT. Unfortunately, I don't know the price. There's a two-tone Yachtmaster. And then to the left of that, a white gold Yachtmaster on a rubber strap. And then to the left of these Yachtmasters, you've got a precious metal Steak Master 2. This two-tone ceramic Sea Dweller is only about 100 USD cheaper than the one we saw earlier. Check out the price of this ceramic sub compared to that electronic store. Pretty good deal on this Air King. Saved nearly $4,000 on this ceramic bluesy. Now, by retail standards, these are still crazily overpriced, but by gray market standards, these are probably some of the most competitive prices in Japan.